All right, boys, another game with a ton of news here. Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. As we sit right now, this is 2.5 to 3, a cheap 3 on the Patriots, and it is 41 is your total, pretty much 141.5 there across the market. So this was Dolphins -1. We get the news. Tua has entered concussion protocol yet again. Line starts to move. Blasts through the 0, gets to 1, gets to 1.5, gets to 2, settles all the way at 2.5, where this is most likely to go off in this one. Stephen, if we look here, Teddy Bridgewater has a limited amount of action so far this year, but 37 of 60, 522 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. You certainly don't want a 1-for-1 when it comes to that, but his average depth of target, we used to think it was like check down Charlie when it came to Teddy Bridgewater, but I think maybe he adjusted at least a little bit to the personnel around him because he never played with a team that had the likes of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Average depth of target is actually 9.6 yards, which puts him in the top 10 of all quarterbacks in the NFL that have at least 40 pass attempts on the season. And small sample size, of course, because he hadn't played a ton, but his passer grade, according to Pro Football Focus, puts him in the same neighborhood as guys like Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, Brock Purdy. So, like, he's not lighting it up, but he's not like the worst in the world either. So, I mean, yes, there's a downgrade for sure to Teddy Bridgewater for this Dolphins team, but I don't think it's maybe like just the death knell that people are making it out to be.
Well, the market certainly agrees with you because this went to 3 and now I'm seeing 2.5s again, which is what it was before Tua was ruled out. So there's certainly some disagreement in the market on whether or not Teddy Bridgewater matters or not. So I am on the New England Patriots side here under 3. I have bet the Patriots -2.5. I certainly hear the arguments for Teddy Bridgewater. I can't disagree with you on that. I think through the course of his career, he's been fine. But I also think that the Dolphins offense, for whatever reason, just has not looked as crisp this year in the 3 games or 2.5 games where Tua has not been on the field. So, and those were including a Bridgewater very winnable game against the Minnesota Vikings where turnovers got in the way for them and cost them that win. They lost 24-16, a home game against the Vikings in week 6. My major concern here with backing the New England Patriots is that they might be without basically all of their cornerbacks this week. You know, it's to have a stupid dad joke, keeping up with the Joneses. They have 3 cornerbacks with the last name Jones. They all are limited or DMPs this week. Jalen Mills is also limited DMP this week. So I don't know how many cornerbacks they're going to have. You got beat reporters in New England saying they might bring some receivers off the practice squad to go out there and play cornerback. So that's the major concern here for me in this game, especially with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle being the guys that they got to cover, even if Teddy Bridgewater is at quarterback. Now, with that being said, as frustrating as the New England offense has been, they're playing a defense in Miami that has really struggled over the past month. The Miami defense is 29th in EPA per play allowed. They are 25th in success rate allowed over the past 4 weeks. Obviously, some tough quarterbacks mixed in there, dropping class here against Mac Jones, but I just don't believe in this Miami team when the starting quarterback isn't in there, even if it is Teddy Bridgewater. So I thought under a field goal here for New England is a fair price, and I took it.
So I think there are a few different games here, Adam, this week where we might have to just kind of plug our nose and play teaser legs. And even though we don't necessarily believe in the teams and kind of hate the teams, maybe even. And I think this might be one of those weeks that we have to do that. Look, if you want to believe that the Patriots are going to win this game, I can buy into that. And if you want to tell me that the Patriots are going to win this game by more than a field goal, I might could even buy into that too. But if you want to tell me that the Patriots are going to win this game by margin, Patriots haven't won anything at margin. They haven't been able to score. The offense is completely discombobulated. They can't figure out any sort of sequencing. They don't know what's going on. Mac Jones is out there complaining after every call comes in and whining like a little baby. So for me, if you're going to give me 8.5 in a game with a 41 total in which I don't believe in the opposing offense at all, I think I'm going to have to just kind of plug my nose and take it this week. As much as I hate to back a Teddy Bridgewater quarterback team, I think this is probably the time to do it.
So I think this is the kind of game where there is enough variance involved in the backup quarterback for Miami and whatever the hell the New England offense is, that you have to look for non-traditional ways into the game, period. And if you dig deep on this one, you'll see that there isn't a bigger gap between Mike McDaniel on his scripted plays early and Matt Patricia on his scripted plays early. And the Miami Dolphins offense gets a lot more added by what Mike McDaniel brings into the equation at the beginning of the game versus what Matt Patricia does in frustrating, holding back, kneecapping Mac Jones and this offense. If you look around, you can find Miami first quarter, even money on the money line. To me, that's the way that I want to get into this thing. I trust that, knowing that Tua Tagovailoa was not going to be playing, that Mike McDaniel will be able to scheme to Teddy Bridgewater's strengths early in this game, maybe try to get some run after catch for Waddle, Hill, and so on, that allows Miami to get out to a lead. And we know that, Matt Patricia scheming up plays for Mac Jones isn't exactly the way that it's worked well for them. So go back over the last few weeks and it's played out, right? You see the Cincinnati Bengals run out to a 20-plus point lead over New England early in the game and then have to hang on for dear life. You see the Raiders run out to a 2-touchdown lead over New England, and then New England have to come back late in the game and, frankly, obviously should have won that game. So I think the easy way to do this is I can still control the variable of Mike McDaniel against Matt Patricia when it matters most. I like the Miami Dolphins in the first quarter. Yeah,
Steven, you did mention, though, to be fair to this Dolphins team, right? They've gotten the 49ers and the Bills in 2 of those 4 weeks in that 4-week stretch, right? I mean, we're talking about really good teams there. The Chargers, kind of after they had gotten back at least a couple of their playmakers as well, they ran into them. And listen, I can't say for certain because football's weird and we've seen some weird things happen this week. They were trucking the Packers, man. And Tua got concussed, and then the game went sideways. But it seems like they had kind of gotten back on track, and now it makes a whole lot more sense because you were just looking. You're like, how did he play so exceptionally well in that? And then go to that, and it makes a whole bunch more sense. And so, I don't know. I'm giving them at least a little bit of a pass for that one as well. So I think I just don't want us to be too tough on this team because it's been a pretty brutal stretch here of late. And give me 8.5 in a game with a 41 total against Mac Jones led offense, and I'll take that all day long.